Okay, here we are back talking about the hero's journey. Now, last video I put out, I talked about the idea that I was going to make an individual video for each of the stages, the 12 stages. Well, I've come to the internal conclusion that this video is going to be the entirety of 12 stages, and I have no idea how long that's going to take us. But before I get going, I would like to offer you the possibility that throughout this video, as I talk about each of the stages, oh, this blue one's a little faded. We'll switch that. As I talk about each of the stages, that you allow yourself to see yourself in each of these stages, in different facets of your life, with yourself, your relationship, your parents, your friends, your siblings, your work, your hobby, whatever endeavor you find yourself in, whatever relationship you find yourself in, you're somewhere along the hero's journey. And so as we keep going and as we go forward, I would just invite you towards the opportunity to see yourself in each of these stages, because the journey is one of an internal way of being rather than anything external we think is happening to us. Which brings us to the ordinary world, stage one, where we start, where everyone starts. Where everyone starts. And this could be seen as being outside in. Living the world from an outside in perspective. The world is happening to me. The world is happening to me. I'm living in this state where I feel a lack of, for a better word, control. I think there's a negative connotation with the word control. Maybe it's my own internal stance, but I find the word control to be, well, it's what you seek in the ordinary world, no? You seek control. The world is happening to me. I'm living from the outside in, and what I seek is control. Now, the funniest part about the whole experience of being in the ordinary world in this zone up above is that you don't know that you're in it. You don't know that you're in the ordinary world. This is all that you've known because there is a lack of awareness. Yes, a lack There's a lack of awareness of what could be possible on the other side. And it's not your fault. It's no one's fault that you're in this place. In fact, there's a reason it's the first step of the journey, because everyone starts there. Everyone starts in the ordinary world. And then one day, there comes a call to adventure. The call to possibility. And I know I got to get this cleaned up back here. It's a little messy, the back of the head. But the hair studio that I go to has been closed for last week. I called them today. No availability till next week. So I'm sorry you got to look at that. But keep your eyes on the whiteboard. You receive a call to adventure, a call to possibility. We don't know. This is the unknown. We have no idea what this adventure could be. However, there is a recognition, there is a heightening of awareness that this is different than what we've experienced before, what I've experienced before in this ordinary world. There is something different that's being invited to me. And where does it occur? Well, it can only occur in awareness, as you will come to So learn. However, it may present itself in the form of something in the world around us, in the world around you. Something in the world around you is different, or there's an opportunity that's being offered to you, or someone new comes into your life, or you see something differently. You see differently than before. As if you put eye wash in your eyes and you can almost see just a little more clearly. A call to the possibility, maybe, of clarity. Potentially. So we exist in this ordinary world. Now, the call to adventure, we're still in this world up here, right? You have 1, 2. We're still existing in this world that is so little of what's possible. So little of what's possible. The first example that comes to me, and my favorite movie series of all time, The Dark Knight, which starts with Batman Begins. Right? And Bruce Wayne lives in the ordinary world where he's a kid and his parents are shot in an alleyway. And this is the world he knows up to the point where he reaches just a mass frustration. And he sees this call. He goes into, I don't know the name of the prison, but he goes to a jail as he's traveling around the world. He takes his call to adventure. He's traveling around the world, and all of a sudden he gets put in solitary confinement, and in walks Ra's al Ghul and provides him with the opportunity of a call to adventure. You'll have to stay with me. We'll just, keep light conversation as I, just not going to edit these videos because everything's edited now. We'll just keep it just you and me. You might use this time to ask yourself, where have I been called to adventure in my life? And what did it feel like? What did the call to adventure feel like to me? I'm going to write out these next 2 steps. We'll keep them in red. Where did my black pen go? Oh, it's on the desk. Let's see. Oh boy, this stuff gets me fired up. Sorry, looking at the back of my head again. Well, I'm actually not sorry, because when you look at the next, I plan to make many more videos in the next week. So many videos from now, you'll notice, you'll see the back of my head and you'll be like, huh, that looks a lot better than it looked 6 videos ago. We just play the game lightly, that's it. We just do it lightly because there's nothing to prove. Who are you going to prove anything to? Right? We'll switch it up. We'll go with the black one now. Throw it up. Catch it. Here we go. So you've gotten this call to adventure. You've gotten this inkling. You've gotten this almost like an itch. You get this itch. There's something out there. Something that's providing you with energy. But inherently, and what occurs, as it's listed here, is the refusal of the call. What does it feel like to refuse the call? Now, this is very difficult because we're trying to describe something that has not occurred, Occurred, 2 R's? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure. We're trying to describe something that has not occurred. It's like eating a tomato and your friend won't eat a tomato. They never tried a tomato. And you're like, dude, try it. It's so refreshing. And this is a cold tomato. This is a cold cherry tomato. It's sweet. It's got a little crunch to it. You're going to love it, and they won't try it. How can I tell you what it tastes like? You're refusing the call to my adventure. Talking about a cherry tomato. But I'd invite you to think about, when have I sat and when have I refused a call? What does a refusal to the call feel like? Because, we're reflecting on this entire journey. What is the refusal of the call feel like? In the reflection of a journey that you can think of in your entire life, you can think of a relationship, school, job, whatever it may be. Something that you now feel like you're existing at the end of, which we'll get to. Maybe it'll make more sense as we get to the end. However, for me, it's always a feeling of apprehension. It's a feeling of apprehension because it's the refusal of the call. It's the, should I go? Do I really want to try that tomato? I do want to try it, but I don't want to try it because I'm scared that if I don't like it, because the ego's trying to keep me in safety, because if I just stay safe and I never try it, then I never know if I'll like it, and I won't have to... The refusal of the call is apprehension towards what you know, you, capital Y, the self, what you know. What you know is best for you. You know you should try that tomato. Bruce Wayne knows that he needs to go to this training ground to hone his skills, but he still is unwilling to get out of his own way. Unwilling to get out of his own way. However, something occurs at this moment, because when you refuse the call, the universe that is aligning you on this path says, and then it provides you with a mentor. Oh! And mentors are the best. But the mentor you see, as you think, I want you to think back of a mentor in your life. The mentor never occurs from seeking. I spent some time in Bali a couple years ago, and I went there as I was beginning to practice breath work. And Bali's known for a lot of Eastern modalities. And I was seeking a mentor. I was looking for someone to help me. And all of these classes that I saw, things and such, they just didn't strike me as authentic. So I gave up. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to enjoy the island. I'm just going to hang out here. And I ran to the gym. And there was this woman working out. She was the only person in this outdoor gym. And something told me to talk to her, so I kept talking to her. Every time she'd take her headphone out. I could tell she didn't want to talk to me. She had no interest in talking to me. And I'm just bugging her. Finally I say, what do you do? Takes her earphone out. Breath work. Oh, interesting. We get talking deeper and deeper and deeper. Over the next week, we actually end up running 3 different sessions and had just long discussions, and she became a mentor to me in my life. But it was only from giving up what I thought it should look like. It was only at the moment that I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm done looking. I'm done looking. Doesn't matter. That the mentor appeared, as if God, the universe, the ethos, the logos, whatever you want to call it, looked down and said, you know what? Now I can provide you with this person, this event, whatever it may be, and you will see clearly, because it is always about seeing. Always. It is always about how am I seeing the world? Am I seeing with clarity, or am I seeing through a fogged lens of assumption, projection, protection? How am I seeing the world? And through giving up, you refuse the call, and then through giving up, the mentor appears. The mentor appears. And as I erase, you can start to reflect on a time that you refused the call. There was apprehension in your body. You felt feelings of apprehension, of an energetic shift in your body that caused you to tighten up. And eventually, the universe provided in the form of a mentor. And you might not even have known that it was a mentor when you saw them at first. However, if it is always about seeing, thus it is always about your state of awareness, all yours conscious awareness. It is about your state of awareness to recognize the mentor, the possibility of the mentor that is in front of you, and to go. And that is where the fun starts to kick up a notch. Because what do? You move, and it's so funny how this is drawn out, right? It's so funny how it's drawn out, because you move. What color should we do? We'll do blue, even though it's faded. You move into the special world. There's a Hermetic saying, as above, so below. As above, so below. The ordinary world. The ordinary to the special world. We think we're above in the ordinary world, yet it is so below that we come to learn to the depths of ourself what is possible. What is possible? Oh, we're sticking with red up top here. Yep. I mean, this is just, you start to see all these moments in your life, and maybe what you see on a deeper level too is the interplay of multiple journeys at once, unable to tell where one starts and the other ends. Because it is so often that we only see through the reflective lens the entirety of the journey, right? We sit and we write and we think and we contemplate in a space of safety about, like, what? What was that? What truly was that? Test allies and enemies. However, the first thing you do after you meet the mentor, because what happens inherently is that the mentor is going to see after this refusal call, the mentor sees the strength that is within you. The mentor recognizes what you are not able to recognize within yourself at that very moment. They are going to help you actualize what is possible from the inside out. And they're not going to give you anything. Rather, they're going to allow you to come to a place of self-realization and of awareness. As I've been reading the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is with Krishna on the battlefield, and that is his spiritual advisor, it's his mentor. It's his mentor not giving him anything outside of self-realization, the opportunity to come to self-realization, I should say, because that is a decision that is made internally in the self. So this crossing of the first threshold. What is the crossing of the first threshold? Well, it's a commitment, because now you've gone beneath. You've gone beneath because the mentor has involved you to a degree which you were unwilling to go to by yourself. It's a commitment to go below. It's a commitment to look inside. Put some little eyes there. To look inside. And oh boy, when you look inside, the places you will go. The places you will go. Because it lines up so perfectly, because what do you find are the tests, allies, and enemy that lie within you. They've been waiting for you. However, only in this moment have you deemed yourself ready. These tests, these allies, and these enemies, they've been waiting. They've been waiting internally. They've been waiting for you internally the whole time. And we could see them as external events. Tests from the outside, allies who I think are, my friends that are here to help me, the enemies that I think are against me, they're all outside. Rather, the Gita calls it the war within. And that's what happens when you choose to look inside, is you choose, and where do you get choice? You get choice through awareness. So all this time you're building awareness. Awareness is what is occurring through this journey. Oh, interesting. These tests, these allies, and these enemies are waiting for me. And it is only when I've come to realize, to self-actualize this strength that is within me, that has occurred through the meeting of a mentor who is helping draw out all the things which are eternal and of the utmost power and strength within, that I become ready for these tests, these allies, and these enemies. That I deem myself ready. Oh boy, when you deem yourself ready, you know what you become? You become ready. When you deem yourself ready, you become ready. There is no getting ready. The getting ready, you're kind of like right here getting ready, you know? And then the mentor is going to say, well, are you ready to go below? And at that moment you say, well, yeah, because you've been placed in my path. I have no other choice. There is no, I was going to say there is no choice. There's always choice, but it's a decisionless process, rather. The process is decisionless. I have to go below. And the only way I go below, the only way I come to realize these tests, these allies, and these enemies is to look inside. And what you will come to realize is that the tests, the allies, and the enemies, they lie within you. There is no external. There is no external. Nothing is happening to you. Nothing is happening to you. Wow, that's an atrocious, I think, calligraphy right there. Nothing is happening to you. These tests, these allies, and these enemies, they have to be seen by me. I have to show them light. I have to show them light. It would be what Carl Jung calls shadow work. The shadows. What lies dormant within. What lies dormant within. So you've been in the ordinary world. You've had a call to adventure. You've refused the call. You've come to meet a mentor who's invited you to go below, who has recognized the strength that is within you, that you've always known is within you. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, our chief want in life is someone to inspire us to be the best version of ourselves. The version of yourself that you always knew you could be. And how did you know you could always be that version of yourself? Because it was always within. It was never something external that you had to see what could be possible. That's the essence of a wizard. The wizard does so that others see that it can be possible, so that others see that it can be done. And you know what happens at the height of the wizard's powers is the others who are watching not only see that it can be done, but believe that they can do it too. They believe that they can do it too. And oh boy, when you go into the stage of tests, allies, and enemies, do you come to see and experience all of the things, all that has been waiting for you to see. Oh man. They've just been there the whole time, just waiting. You gonna come? And what you thought were your allies turned into your enemies, and what you thought were your enemies turned into your allies. You're sitting around and you're in an utter state of confusion. You're in this utter state of confusion. Back to the Dark Knight. Back to the Dark Knight. When Batman now realizes, what, Ra's al Ghul is the bad guy? That guy was just my mentor. He was just my ally. Now he's my enemy? It turns so fast. But it's through a process of self-realization, and it's so crazy that the mentor showed Bruce Wayne the strength that was always within him. It was always within him. And then when he self-actualized that strength and turned into the Batman and then was doing crazy stuff all around Gotham, and then all of a sudden Ra's al Ghul pops up and it's like, yo, what? You're the bad guy? Oh, it turns so fast. It turns so fast. And if you're still listening, I thank you because you've made the decision to you've made a decision to enter the special world with me. Now things get a bit stickier. Let's just take a moment. Let's take a deep breath. Everyone together. Let's take a deep breath. Just let it out, HA. Very nice. Sometimes I get going. Sometimes I really get going. But it's all for fun. It's all for fun. None of it's that serious. So you've entered this world where you've recognized the tests, the allies, and the enemies within. So what do? You go on an approach to the innermost cave. The innermost cave. What has dwelled within you your entire life. What has been waiting for you to show it love and attention your entire life. And the approach to the innermost cave, it goes from like a, you go from like a process of standing, and then you start crawling, and then you're sliding on your stomach. Because you're approaching the supreme ordeal. You're approaching the innermost cave, the deepest cave, the darkest. As St. John of the Cross would say, the darkest night of the soul. The darkest night. Remember, Jesus didn't come to save the righteous. He came to save the sinners, those who recognized that they were not perfect, that they had made mistakes. He came to recognize the people who dwelt beneath. And in the darkest night of your soul is so often when we come to the actualization of something greater than ourselves. It's true for me. As I approach the innermost cave of a journey that I've been writing about in my book, An Inevitable Becoming, I came to realize that the tests, the allies, and the enemies that I saw and that I thought were external were only internal. And as I came to this innermost cave, I was in a place that was just extremely dark. The dark night of the soul. And you're in a state of hyper confusion. Hyper confusion. Because what even is what? What's up, what's down, what's in, what out, you know what I mean? You're living in the world of duality, and all of a sudden you come to this point where it's like, wait, what? The only option to the other side is unity? And what you come to realize is that the innermost cave, this process, it takes time and time and time and time. For me, it was months of confusion. I tried all these modalities. Working out, breath work, yoga, cold plunges, saunas, all these things. These external things, nicotine, alcohol. And then one day, you come to the supreme ordeal. And you just come to realize that everything you need is within. And not only do you realize it, but the next stage of the journey is to actualize it. You know, in the Bhagavad Krishna, as he's talking to Arjuna, at the end of each statement is saying, so go and fight. You must fight this war. You must participate in this war. What the war is. That's up for you to decide. But rather, Krishna is telling him, not only is there the option to realize it, but you must actualize it. You must fight in this war. You must go forward and fight your own family members. Because it is your dharma of a warrior to fight. It is your dharma to do what must be done. So you enter this moment, the supreme ordeal, where you realize that all of these things that I've been scared of, that I deemed as external, and now that I've realized are internal, all these things that I've been scared of, they're actually here to help me. My enemies are my allies. I am my greatest ally. I am my greatest ally. I mean, when you come to the realization that you're your greatest ally, what could ever be taken from you? Truly. When you are your greatest ally, what could ever be taken from you? Any emotion that you think comes from something external no longer comes from what is external, because in this moment, there is the heightened state of awareness to live inside out. Thus, there is the heightened choice through awareness to live inside out. Where you stop and really go, whoa, everything that I was scared of is here to help me. Everything that I was scared of before is here to help me. I mean, you know what you really get from that? Oh boy. Freedom from the ego that has been constricting the entirety of your life. Because you realize that I am my greatest ally. There's no need, I mentioned the word control earlier. There's no need to control my ego anymore. No, I'm choosing to work with my ego, not against it. You have the constructs of time toward, in, and with. And in this moment, I go from going towards to in to with. In the ordinary world, this adventure, the call to adventure, meeting the mentor, is all going towards. And then as I cross the first threshold and I start to approach the innermost cave, what's required of me is stillness. Silence and stillness. All ancient texts talk about stillness. Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Meister Eckhart says, God knows you better than you know yourself. So be still. Come to stillness. Hope you guys are having fun. I'm having fun. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while, and I always thought I was going to do it one part at a time, and today I was just sitting at the lake, and I thought, just do the whole thing at once. Who cares if anyone watches it? If you're watching right now, thank you. I would like to acknowledge you for taking the time to stick with me, because this journey that maybe you already know about it. But if you already know about it, if you already have become aware of it, I would encourage you to hear it like it's the first time. Because as I sat in my room in Germany a year ago and came to the realization that I am my greatest ally, there was immense freedom. Just immense freedom in that realization. And it was only through submission of myself, submission of the self to God, to what dwells within me in a place deeper than I've ever experienced before. The true submission of that, of something so greater than I, than the word I, something that is eternal, that every text talks about going somewhere. When my body dies, my spirit just goes somewhere else. When you come to that realization, you're fearless. There's freedom. But there's realization, there's actualization, there's living with truly nothing to prove. Nothing to prove, nothing to fear, nothing to lose. I got nothing to gain, because where am I going to go? There's nothing to gain. What's set in motion is already in motion. There's nothing to gain from it. Yeah, you monetary value, these things that are external, that are of the world, that'll come and that'll go. That'll be how it's supposed to be. That is, that's to live outside in. That was the ordinary world. We're in the other world now. We're in the special world. That's not what we're thinking. We're getting the reward, and we're on the road back. And what is the reward? What is the reward from this entire thing? You have something in your head that's telling you right now what this reward is. I just know it, and I know that you're right. And so on 3, we're going to say it. 1, 2, 3. Awareness. Awareness of self. That's what you get. That's the reward. That is the only reward you will ever receive, is awareness of self, awareness of what is eternal within you, what is eternal and internal, to live inside out. Where I used to live in this confine of the mirrors that surrounded me in the ordinary world, and everything I did bounced back as a reflection of me, of what my value was in the world. Everything was a reflection of my value in the world. Rather, you come to this place, the reward, where there's the awareness of self, and now I'm here, and God is dwelling within me, and I can go any which direction I want, because I am limitless. The burning bush in Exodus, when it's talking to Moses, and Moses says, well, who am I supposed to go back and tell him? Say, I am who I am. What do you know about yourself? I know that I am who I say I am. Man, I'm anxious. You're anxious. Man, I'm blessed. You're blessed. Man, I'm thankful. You're thankful. I am who I say I am. Thus, I become limitless. That is the reward of awareness. The reward Congrats. Congrats, you got it. There it is. The reward of awareness. But, you come to the realization, but will you actualize it? And this is what the Bhagavad talks about, being in unison. Will you actualize it? Will you live a life of undividedness? Between what your spirit tells you to do and what you do. Man, my spirit's telling me I really shouldn't go do that thing, and then you do it, divided, boom. There is no actualization in that process. If I had the thought to make this video and I didn't make this video, but I knew that the highest version of myself took an hour to make this video or however long it takes and I didn't do it, I become divided. That's how people walk around in the world with all these thoughts that convolute their mind as they walk around in a divided state of being. Should I do this? Should I do that? I'm walking towards this person and now I don't know what to do because you're divided. That is the essence of karma. Cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. Yet when we sit in stillness, when nothing is done, nothing is undone. When we sit in stillness, we have the opportunity to get up and to go with in a state of undividedness, to move freely and move with awareness of the limitlessness that resides within you, that is always resided within you. That is the reward. That is the reward. Sorry, if you thought it was money, not. Maybe that comes from the inside out. Maybe that is something that you come to actualize in your life, inside out, to manifest within your own life. But to sit there and be like, the reward is $1 million. Brother, you're empty. You're empty. That's a false reward. Beware of the false rewards. And in this state of undividedness, you get up from your view at the top of this hike. You've been hiking this mountain, you get up, you've been looking at the view the entire time. You get up, you dust your pants off, put your backpack back on, and you say, okay. But it's not the road back, because as we see in this circle, we're only going back to where we started. Thus, it's not a matter of back and forth, it's forth and forth. We're moving forward. And so on the road back, there's this quietness, there's a subtlety to it. Because you're left in this state, of solitude, but it's what's necessary at this moment in the journey. Because as you walk back quietly. You're going downhill, you got your hands on your backpack straps and your feet are out in front of your body and you're kind of placing one leg in front of the other, but you're in such an effortless state, such a flow, that it's what's necessary because you've gone through this entire journey to this point right here. And what's needed on the road back is quietness and reflection. To really ask yourself, what did I just go through? And what's possible for me now as I begin this journey the other way? I'm coming so above, so below. As I come back up for air, what is possible with this? I have to actualize it because I've realized it. And I could sit here in this self-realization and then, when people say that they have too much awareness, no, you don't. You just don't have enough actualization. You have all the awareness that you want. If you don't actualize it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You can sit in your room and be like, man, I'm so aware of everything that's going on. I'm so aware of myself. I'm so aware of other people. Then you're not. You're just lying to yourself. You're just living in this false reality that you think that you're aware of everything that's happening. Why don't you just do it in a mindless state of effortlessness that is the reward, the awareness of the self, that you become limitless? Because if you were truly limitless, you wouldn't sit in your room and do nothing. if you truly knew you had nothing to fear, nothing to prove, nothing to lose, and nothing to gain, you wouldn't sit in your room and be like, man, I really could do that. I should do that. I want to do that. No, you just do it. You just go and do it. And then you got a story to tell after, I did this thing and it was really fun and I learned this and that's what happened. Ha! Crazy. And so you're on the road back and you're making, the conscious decision to sit there and be like, what am I going to do with this awareness? How am I going to serve the world with this awareness? Because it is no longer, you've gone on this whole journey, it is no longer about you. You've come to the awareness of the self, the capital self, the connectedness with everything in this world. There is no other. There is no other in this world. In the ordinary world, there's other. People see other. Once you see below ordinary in the special world, there is no other. Truly. Truly, there is no other. Everything is connected. What would you have to prove to something that is not other? There's nothing to prove. We're all connected. And when you look into someone's eyes, when you see clearly, you see the God that dwells within them, the same that dwells within you. I'm fired up. I'm having fun. I hope you are too. I spelled resurrection wrong. So don't even look at it. Forget about it. Forget about it. I spelled it wrong. Forget about it. Boom, there it is. Double R. The resurrection. Now, what is the difference between the road back and the resurrection? They sound kind of similar. The road back and the resurrection. What's the difference? I see the road back as being a singular moment in time of realization. Of getting to the other side of the supreme ordeal and being able to walk and say, whoa, I have to go serve the world now. I have to. It is the only option that I have. We're going to check the battery life on my phone real fast. Oh, we're chilling. We're so chilling. And to say, man, I have to go serve the world. That's my only option. That's what God's bestowed upon me, is the singular realization. Now the resurrection is the action inside of that realization. It's the action inside of that realization is the resurrection, is to say, on the road back, okay, I got to help people now. And then the resurrection is the coming back and saying, this is what it's about. And then you return with the elixir. You walk back to everybody. This is you with your backpack coming back from, the journey that you were just on. You're on this crazy journey and it led you right here. And here's everybody else that's just been chilling in the ordinary world that has, no idea what's going on. They're just kind of chilling. The world's happening to me. And then through your way of being, it's through a silent way of being. Share the gospel and if necessary, use words. Through your way of being, you return with the elixir. Through your way of being, you return with the elixir. And people start to ask questions. They start to become curious about, dude, what'd you just do? Oh, bro, let me tell you about the journey I just went on. Because, look, we have 11 that sits beneath the ordinary world. And as you come to 12, you come back to the ordinary world. You return with this elixir. And what is the elixir? What is the elixir? Oh, you know the answer. You know the answer. Awareness of service. That's what must be done. The awareness that I have to serve. And then the ability to see clearly. I see the world clearly. I see myself clearly. I see myself with clarity. I see the moments where I'm going towards time, thus going further from the self. And in those moments, I have the ability to sit in stillness. I have the ability to sit in time. And from sitting in time, I have the ability to get up and go with and come back with the self into the highest version of myself, into this service. And it is along the journey that I come to realize the self. And I'm unable to even tell where one journey ends and the other begins, because now I live in a state of pure service to the world around me. And it's not always easy. You come to these states where, you come to these states where the ego cries out, the little self will cry out, oh, pay attention to me. Give me recognition. Help me. Show me. Make sure everyone sees me. And in those moments, you sit in stillness and you realize the journey that you've been on. And you come to the awareness of service and you see clearly and you say, that's okay, not right now. I'm going to go back to service. Those moments where you get outside of yourself. And this is the small self. Those moments that you do something that you know you have to do, that you are so extremely nervous about to do, but your spirit tells you you have to do it. Whatever it may be, comes from a state of seeing the world as separate. However, when you return with the elixir, you come to the awareness of the connectedness of us all. You come to the awareness of the connectedness with us all. Thus, I have nothing to fear, I have nothing to prove, I have nothing to lose, and I have nothing to gain. Oh, and how marvelous the journey is. And I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And I would love for you to share in the comments either the moments that stood out to you, the moment of your journey that you're in right now, a moment that as you reflect back was so strong for you. Because all we have at the end of the day, when you come back to the awareness of the connectedness of us all we have is the stories that we tell. God bless.